guys, welcome to the channel. So for some of you that might have been aware, at one point Bragging Lights, same thing, Next Level Neo, was making LED fog lights for the 03 to 05 Subaru Foresters. Honestly, these were a lot more trouble than they were worth. Biggest issue being shipping. I tried many different ways to try to secure them so that they would not break in shipping, but yeah, 3D printed parts, unfortunately, they just did not seem to hold up. Once people got them and they got them on the car, they generally didn't have an issue. I think I had one guy one time that went airborne over some train tracks, and he busted one of them. But by and large, I haven't had any of them break once they get in the person's hands. So rather than having to deal with the non-stop people having issues in shipping, I just stopped making them. Damn. Rather than have them just die and go away, all the work that was involved in designing everything, I'm just going to give it for free to you guys. So anybody out there that's got a Forester 03 to 05, this should fit the USDM bumper. I think it should also fit, can't remember the bumper style. There's a couple of the bumpers. If this fog light will fit your car, this set will fit your car. So that 03 to 05 Foresters with that style of a bumper on them, it should fit you. But the list for the fog lights, and these are the same design as what we were selling, but the output's a little bit lower, but the benefit is you can actually get them here. I had to order them in bulk from Taiwan to get my high output ones. So if you have previously had a set of these or you've seen them, it is not the same. I did actually order this set from Amazon. The list will be in the description. It is far cheaper than what I was paying for them, so that's a benefit. And the output's still okay. I mean, it's not what we were doing on the ones that we were selling, but you can't get those. They don't sell them in the States here. I haven't been able to find them, but these are the same size and same layout, so they will work fine with this kit. And they do have the halo as well, which was a nice little touch. As far as the parts go, there are 3 pieces that have to be 3D printed. Of course, orientation, is going to kind of depend on your 3D printer. If you're looking to get these parts made by somebody else, you, by all means, can reach out to somebody. I will not be making these anymore, so please don't ask. The files are available. Anybody that wants to purchase a 3D printer and have a go at it, by all means. I was resin printing these pieces because it would get just a better polish, fit, and finish on them. At the time, my resin printer was not big enough to print the top ring, so this is printed FDM using ABS plastic. Now, I do recommend something that's a little bit higher heat resistance. You do not want to use PLA. It's not going to work well. So PETG is probably okay. I like ABS. ABS seems to hold up really well to heat, and you're not likely to have issues. But obviously there's so many different options. Just make sure whatever you use is something that will stand up to outside heat and things like that, as well as being a little bit durable. One benefit though, if you did make this yourself, you can always reprint a part if something were to break, which is pretty nice. So the top ring here, the middle ring, and the bottom ring. Now obviously there is a right and left side, so there are 6 files total. I just printed one side of the car to give you guys an idea. The way that this one will line up, there is a little indent on one side that will correlate to an indent that is right next to this bracket here. And you will just line that up to that indent, and as you can see as well, this will line up with the hole in the side here, as well as if you flip it over, this side will line up with the hole in the back side, and that's so that the projector itself will, the fog light will sit in there like that. And lastly, this part will go over top of all of that. And you're going to sort of line up the holes. They intentionally don't line up perfect I drill them out to get a better connection to it, because you don't want to have a whole lot of slop in there. You kind of want it to be nice and tight. And obviously one thing to consider with this, these are 3D printed parts, so finishing process is kind of up to you. That was another part that was kind of a pain in the butt. I did have to sand it down to make a smoother finish on the face here. I was painting them with a little bit of a higher quality paint to hopefully stand up to the elements outside. Just a lot of steps to doing these that unfortunately I just really don't have the time to do anymore. And then it's just even more discouraging when you get it. It looks good, and then by the time it gets to the customer, UPS has destroyed it. So more reasons why I got out of it. But as you'll see, there are screw holes in here, and they are 4, and they're not like perfect, and that's once again intentional, because if you were to accidentally orient this wrong, the holes in this ring are not going to line up with the holes on the back side. It has to be on the right way, and then those holes will line right up. So it's just a nice little way to make sure that you get it right. So to secure the back ring to the middle ring, you're going to want to use number 6 3/4 inch screws, and you're going to need 4 of those. So once again, just make sure you get that lined up just right. Go ahead and drop your first screw in there. And you're just going to be snug. These are 3D printed parts, so you put too much torque on it, probably not a good idea. So just like that, I have secured the bottom, just the 4 screws in the corner there. Next up will be our top ring, and once again you can see where the holes are and just kind of line it up where the holes in the top bracket line up with the holes that are in the middle ring. So you're going to want a 1/8 inch drill bit. And you go ahead and get that first one, just drilling through that hole into that center ring. And then you're going to want to use rivets, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch diameter with a 1/4 inch grip is what I've been using, and they work pretty well to hold it in place. You'll just put that right in like so and cramp it down. Now most of the time this sits just down far enough that it's fine, but you may need to go back in there with like a Dremel or something to sand it down if it's sticking up past the plastic surface, because otherwise the projector, the fog light may get stuck as it's going in. So I'll go ahead and do all 4. And you want to do one at a time, because if you do them all and it like shifts a little bit on you, the holes won't be lined up. So just do one at a time, at least to get the first 2 in, the front and the back. And once you get those in, they should hold it in place so that you can do the rest. So there it is. I've got all them in. And once again, you're going to want to go back in and just double check. You want these to be sitting below the surface so that they don't cause any issues when you're trying to slide this in. So I'm going to go back over them myself and hit them with some the Dremel a little bit to grind them down. So just like that, nice and grind down, wipe it down, whatever you want to do there. This set's not going to be for sale, so I'm not going to worry about perfecting everything, the surfaces and all that. It's just mainly to give you guys an idea of how you want to assemble these in the event that you want to make your own set. Next up, we will have to disassemble, or well, remove the bracket. So not quite disassembly, but you're going to want to back the angle adjustment screw out. But there is a clip on the inside there that you're going to need to depress so that it can slide right out. So just like that, it'll pull right out. Up next, you're going to pop the 2 tabs that are on both sides, and that whole back ring is just going to slide right off. You won't be using any of that. Next up, we will insert this in to the housing. And you can see there's 2 tabs here, one on each side, that's supposed to line up with the little hole that's down in there. Now, this is tight. But once again, that's kind of intentional so that everything sits really well once it's installed. But getting it installed is, it's tight. But as you can see, once I get it installed, it just snaps right in place. And it does fit very snug in there. You pull that front cover off and you can see it sits pretty darn flush. And as for securing it in place, now one thing that I did start doing, I hadn't really had people tell me that it was falling out, but I did have a concern because, I mean, if you push this hard enough, it will fall back out just as easy as it snaps in. What I like to do was chase the back side of this hole down here where the side tabs are on this, just a little bit in there with the drill to drill a hole, and then chase it with the screw, and that seemed to work. You could try putting like some gasket maker maybe in there somewhere to try to secure it in place, but it's something to consider. You may never have a problem. I never really heard anybody complain about them falling out, but it is something I started adding, was just to one side, just drill a little hole in that little tab on the side of the projector. Like I said, there is a hole right there, so if you drill in that hole, you'll see the tab down in there. You drill into that metal tab on this side of the fog light, and then secure it in place with the screw, and it keeps it from falling out in the off chance that it would try to. So as far as the actual fog light itself, like I said, it does look just like this, but the backside is a little bit different. I don't actually have a Forester fog light bracket here that I can show you install. I do have another video, and I will link that at the end of this video, as far as actually installing this into the Forester fog light. But once again, this is the fog light size here. The back side is just different. This one is actually for an Outback. I do have the files for the Outback as well, so maybe I'll just link them all on there, and that way you guys can, you know, attempt that one as well. I only ever made one set for the Outback before I ended up just getting out of it altogether. So it did work, so the files should be fine for that as well. But I have made a lot for the Forester, so I do know the Forester's designed pretty well. It does fit pretty well. So once again, that'll be in the description for the download links for the files for well, for the Forester as well as for the Outback. As well as a link for the fog lights themselves, which are available right now on Amazon. I can't say that they will always be available there, nor I do not believe that any others will fit this. They were made specifically for this style fog light, so a lot of the other ones that are on the market may not fit. So don't just go buy some 4-inch fog lights and think they're going to fit. It very well may not, because of the way it was designed. But thanks for watching. Check out some of our other videos if you do have a Forester yourself. We have one showing you how to retrofit your own headlights, if that's something you want to do. As well as, you know, may do some other Forester specific lighting videos in the future as well. So definitely make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of those in the future. Thanks for watching.